All right, steps of service, part 3. We're going to talk about hospitality. Hospitality and guest service is the main part of what we're doing while our guests are here. Once tables have done their initial order, you want to be sure that you're available to bring all the food and wine and make sure it arrives in a timely manner. You might not be the one running all of your wine or running all of your food to the table, but as their server, you are still responsible to make sure everything comes out quickly, to make sure everything comes out correctly, and to see if the guests have any other need. When guests order food, you want to bring plates, napkins, silverware from your captain's box right away. You shouldn't have to get that when the food arrives. That should already, everything a guest need should already be at the table. If a guest orders soup, make sure you bring them a spoon ahead of time, things like that. Anticipating your guest needs is really important because it's going to save you a lot of steps and extra running around, but it's also going to reinforce to the guests that we're really taking care of them, which leads to bigger tips for you. So when you are running wine in your area of the winery, whether it's with yourself or another team member, it's important to remember that we all are running wine together. So if something is not quite ready that you're waiting for, run whatever's ready so that then that clears out space for the bartenders to get the next orders out. That will keep the flow of the bar consistent, and that's going to help your stuff come out faster. The same works for the kitchen. You want to make sure that when we are busy, we do have more staff on to help run wine and run food, but when it's slower, there is not as much staff, so everybody needs to be mindful of helping out and checking on things and communicating. You want to make sure that your wine should be out to the table within 5 minutes of ordering. So when you order, most things from our bar are going to come out pretty quickly, like tastings, glasses of wine. If guests are ordering something that is a little bit more complicated, like a cocktail, then what you might want to do is send your tastings to the bar first, or the glass of wine first, or the bottle, and then send the more complicated things on a separate ticket a couple seconds later. That way the bartenders can get that whole first ticket out quickly, and then the cocktails or the more complicated things can come out a little bit later. This also works if people are ordering pairings where you have food coming from the kitchen and wine coming from the bar. We don't want to wait because it's very hard to tell what the timing of the kitchen's going to be. So you're going to send your food to the kitchen first, then send your wine to the bar. The wine should come out first, and you're going to need to explain to your guests that the wine is a pairing, it is going with food, and you can still talk to them about the pairing in the wines, but encourage them to wait and not enjoy those wines until the paired food comes out so they can do it together. So that can be yourself as the primary server, or the person running that wine pairing to the table can explain that as well. So it's important that you also are communicating as you're bringing stuff out. But anything taking longer than 5 minutes, we just want to be aware if the bar is backed up, because really most of our drinks, our beverages here should be coming out fairly quickly. If you are waiting for something from the bar for longer than 10 minutes, you need to talk to a manager in your section, because that probably means there's a bigger problem, and we don't want to wait till 15 or 20 minutes because then guests start to get upset. Also, you want to make sure that you're firing your food to the kitchen in the same way. If you have someone who is getting some tapas or a cheese board, but they're also getting something like a sandwich or paella, something that might take a little bit longer, ask your guests if they want you to send something as an appetizer. We can send the cheese board or the trio of dips first. That way, that ticket is going to come out before the other food, so the kitchen will know, hey, we're sending this cheese board out first, and then the sandwiches and the pie are going to come out later. The firing and the timing of your food really is on you to take care of your guests. The kitchen is going to make everything, and the bar, that's on a ticket and send it out together. So there's no way in our system for you to send something out, say, please send this part of the ticket out first. So when you fire those tickets, you want to keep in mind, that is really important that you keep in mind what your guests are expecting. Because some people sometimes will order everything from you all at once, but really they'd like to have some of those appetizer type things or tapas to come out first. So you got to make sure you ask them and then send it to the kitchen or to the bar the appropriate way. The last thing on that is that you want to make sure that if there is a backup anywhere, if there is any kind of you know that the kitchen's taking a little bit longer, the bar's taking a little bit longer, communicate that to your guests. Don't let them just wonder or sit there and wait. You just want to let them know, hey, the kitchen's a little bit busy right now, so your stuff is coming out. I checked on it, but it's taking a couple extra minutes today, just so you guys aren't worried about it. And you also can recommend stuff from the kitchen or the bar that come out faster. When you know the kitchen's busy or the bar's busy, you can recommend wine slushies, you can recommend Getting bottles of wine are obviously a lot faster for us to get out to our guests, and things like trio of dips, cheese boards, simple things from the kitchen that could come out faster. That way you can get stuff to your guests a lot quicker, even when the rest of the winery is busy and there's a lot more going on. You want to make sure that your guests also are enjoying all their food together and having things the way that they're intended to be. So whether it's a pairing or whether they're just getting stuff to share family style, you just want to be aware of that. So people might need an extra spoon to share paella. They might need extra plates to share stuff. If somebody wants an extra wine glass because they want to have a glass to have their red in this glass and their white in this glass off a tasting, things like that. So those are just little extra touches of service that you can throw out to your guests as you're going, and just keep an eye. A lot of people will let you know, but some people won't say anything until you ask them, hey, do you have everything you need? Can I get you something else for that? Would it be helpful if? So those are questions, qualifying questions you can ask.